Good evening, and welcome to the Utopian Baseball Universe Toronto Blue Jays team preview show. I'm Joey Buchholz. Tonight we'll be going over the Toronto Blue Jays roster for 2021, taking a look at some of their the highlights of their schedule. I have Cito Gaston's lineup for opening night. One of the few night games that will be featured on opening day, which will be Friday, March 26th. The Blue Jays opening their season at home against the Durham Bulls. Going to be one of just a handful of night games on that day. The Blue Jays are going to be playing the Mets on Memorial Day this year. That'll also be a home game. On Labor Day, Independence Day, the Blue Jays will be hosting the Diamondbacks. On Labor Day, they'll be hosting the Nationals and finishing the season against the Yankees. But opening day, once again, against the Durham Bulls. That will be a night game in Toronto. I don't have a guest tonight, so this will be a quicker show than we normally have, probably about 10 or 15 minutes tonight. Tomorrow we'll be having Jamie Howell, and we'll be talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. On Saturday we have two shows. At 2 o'clock I'll be doing a question and answer at 2 o'clock Central Time for 1 hour. I'll be taking all your questions and comments for an hour on Saturday. And then that night, Tim St. Clair and I are going to talk baseball movies and the Colorado Rockies. And then Sunday, one of my oldest friends, Justin Pfeffer, and I will talk about the Minnesota Twins. But tonight, it's the Toronto Blue Jays. I've never been out of the country, so I've never been to a Blue Jays game in Toronto. But as a kid growing up in a little town called Brown Deer, Wisconsin, the elementary school I went to was called Dean School. And I would spend as much time as I could pitching against that building. And oftentimes I was pretending that I was Dave Stieb. Dave Stieb was my favorite pitcher growing up. I had a handful of favorites, but Stieb was number one. I loved Dave Stewart. I loved John Tudor, Teddy Aguirre. A couple other guys. Brewers, Juan Nieves. He had a shorter career, but my guy was Dave Stieb. And I don't know if you can tell, but this hat is probably 20 years old. This just stinks of sweat. It's one of my favorite caps. So Dave Stieb is one of my favorites growing up. I will get to all of your comments and questions at the end of the show. If you have any questions, just feel free to type them away. If you want your name, if you want to get permission to have your name used, you have to click the disclaimer that you'll see right now on top. It should be above me. It basically gives StreamYard permission for me to see your name, because I'm not on Facebook right now. You're on Facebook. I'm on StreamYard. So if you click that, I'll be able to see your name. With that being said, let's just get right to it. Like I said, a shorter show tonight. Let's look at the opening day lineup for the Toronto Blue Jays. Once again, they will open their season on Friday, March 26th in one of a handful of night games that night versus the Durham Bulls. Let's look at that starting lineup right now. Leading off and playing center field will be Willard Brown. Willard Brown was signed from the Negro Leagues. He's going to be the starting center fielder and leadoff hitter, at least on opening day, for Cito Gaston. Batting second and playing second base will be Roberto Alomar. Batting third and playing first base, Carlos Delgado. Cleanup hitter on opening day will be left fielder George Bell. Batting fifth and playing right field will be Joe Carter. Batting sixth, third baseman Vlad Guerrero Jr. Batting seventh will be catcher Pat Borders. Batting eighth, shortstop Bo Bichette. And taking the bump this year on opening day will be Marcus Stroman. He was Easily the Blue Jays' best pitcher in 2020 in the Utopian Baseball Universe had a record of 14-5. Last year's starter, Dave Stieb, will be in the rotation, but Stroman's going to get the ball on opening day. The Blue Jays were 10th in the league last year in pitching, and 19. Actually, I'm sorry, they were 10th in hitting and 19th in pitching. But Marcus Stroman was the highlight of that staff last year. Also of note, the Blue Jays were the worst team last year on the road. They were 30 games above 500 on the road, but only 4 teams in the Utopian Baseball Universe won more games at home. So if the Blue Jays can figure out some of those road woes, they should be contending for a UBU East Division title this year. So let's take a look now at what the pitching is going to look like to start the season. As of course we mentioned, Marcus Stroman getting the ball game 1 against Durham. The second starter this year is going to be Juan Guzman. Pitching on Sunday will be Dave Stieb. And then when the Blue Jays start their season against the Braves, that'll also be in Toronto. Roy Halladay, R.A. Dickey, and then Marcus Stroman will get his second start in that last game against the Braves. So Stroman, Guzman, Stieb, Halladay, and Dickey will be in that rotation to start the season. In their bullpen, Tom Hankey will be the closer to start the season. Then we have Dwayne Ward, Roberto Osuna, Mark Eichhorn, Paul Quantrill, BJ Ryan, and Casey Jansen. So that's what the bullpen looks like. And then for the rest of the position players for the Blue Jays, we have Ernie Witt, catcher, John Olerud, Kevin Biggio, Josh Donaldson, Tony Fernandez, Jose Bautista, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and Toronto legend Jesse Barfield. So that rounds out the roster for the Blue Jays. Let's look at that starting lineup once again. Brown, Alomar, and Delgado. Bell, Carter, Guerrero Jr., Borders, Bichette, and Stroman. And then the rotation to start the year will be Stroman, Guzman, Stieb, Halladay, and R.A. Dickey. Just want to say hi to some Blue Jays fans that might be watching tonight. Some longtime members of the universe, Lance Hardy, Louis Farran, Mike Franken, and Oliver Hartung. And special hello to Al Harvey, who joined the universe just a couple hours ago, earlier today. So there's your Blue Jays team for 2021. Again, opening the season against Durham. This team's going to hit. They were in the top 10 last year in hitting. And again, I think the difference is if they just learn how to win games on the road, they should be able to compete in the Utopian Baseball Universe in 2021. Let's take a look to see if we have any comments or questions. So we have someone that said, been there, it's great. I have a feeling who said not Dickey, because Al stated earlier today he didn't want to see Dickey make the rotation. And that's understood. Part of the reason we share this early is that these rosters are going to be fluid. Just because R.A. Dickey is in that rotation right now, it doesn't mean he'll stay there. He was not in the rotation to start the season last year. He ended up getting some starts in September, mid-August to the end of September. Ended up pitching really well for the Blue Jays last year. He was 5-3 with an ERA under 3 in 10 starts for the Blue Jays. So he earned that right this year. The Blue Jays also have Jimmy Key waiting in the wings in the event that one of these starters were to go down. Someone else saying, guess Bo will need another jersey number. Yeah, I guess we got two guys wearing that same number, so they'll have to fight for that, I suppose. All right. Again, some shows are going to go longer. I know some shows we've done 40 minutes. Without having a guest tonight, it's hard to go further than really what we've done here now. Most of the shows for the people watching for the first time, this is the 10th show we've done now out of 32, highlighting a team a night. And there's only going to be about 5 or 6 that won't have guests. I just wasn't able to find anyone for the Blue Jays. I posted all the shows about 2 weeks ago, and they filled up pretty quickly, but we don't have a guest tonight. We did not have a guest for our Durham Bulls show. As of right now, I don't have anyone for Philadelphia. So if anyone wants to join me for the Philadelphia show, you should be able to find when that is on the page. I don't have anyone for Tampa Bay, but I'm pretty sure every other show is booked with at least one guest. Some of them will have 2. And like I mentioned earlier, tomorrow I'm really excited for the Pittsburgh show. Saturday with the 2 shows, really excited for both of those. The question and answer, I hope all of you can join for that if you have any questions about exactly what we're doing here. And then my friend Tim and I, Saturday night, going to talk baseball, movies. And then Sunday, one of the biggest Twins fans that I know, Justin Pfeffer, is going to join us. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. If you have any other questions or comments, keep them coming. Someone's looking forward to Colorado on Saturday. Yeah, I can't wait. Check us out. We're going to be 7 o'clock that night, 7 Central. So thank you for joining me tonight. And we'll see you again tomorrow at 7 o'clock with Jamie Howell and a Pittsburgh Pirates theme show. Take care. Have a good night. And we'll see you tomorrow.